Known as a hooligans game played by gentlemen, rugby fittingly traces its roots to an elite boarding school in the English countryside. According to legend, on the grounds of the rugby school in 1823, an enterprising pupil named William Webb Ellis, acting with what at the time was described as a fine disregard for the rules of football as played in his time, first took the ball in his arms and ran with it. By the 1870s, rugby had made its way stateside. The first Yale-Harvard football game in 1875 was actually a rugby match. On most campuses, however, influenced by Yale's Walter Camp, rugby would eventually morph into American football. Rugby was contested at 4 of the first 7 Olympic Games. In fact, the United States is the defending Olympic champion, winning gold in Paris in 1924. Rugby hasn't appeared in the Olympics since, but its international appeal has exploded. And even here, rugby is woven into the fabric of North American sport. When a Canadian theology student sought to create a sport free of the ruffianism that vexed the games of his day, he looked to his time on the rugby pitch. Dr. James Naismith figured if you could ban carrying, you could eliminate tackling, or at least that was the refined pursuit that gave birth to the game of basketball. Tackling was no problem for Army's Heisman Trophy-winning Rhodes Scholar when he tried his hand at rugby. But when Pete Dawkins first played at Oxford, he felt lineouts could use a football makeover. So he ushered in an overhand throw that tabloids called the Yankee Torpedo Pass. It is now the standard. These days, rugby is played across the globe. It's the day job of Canada's bobsled gold medalist, the passion of one of Hollywood's brightest stars. And of course, it's on the silver screen, where the world saw the story of a united team that helped heal a divided nation, winning the Webb Ellis Cup along the way. And in 6 years, in the place in sport where the light shines brightest, rugby is back in Rio. Rugby will once again bring together the world's best, including the game's first women's tournament. 92 years after Paris, the Americans will have a title to defend.
For the European champions, the trip served as part of their pre-season programme. A sign of Munster's stature over here was an invitation from Harvard University to take advantage of their sporting facilities. And Harvard's 30,000-seat gridiron stadium, a modern-day coliseum, provided a stunning backdrop for the Munster team to work on their game plan to take on the Eagles.
It's an amazing place to train, and the welcome we've got and the way we've been looked after has been fantastic. And you know, if we can help the rugby in the United States in any way, that's very important for us too. I think you know, there's massive potential here.